in service. You just give back to your community. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And so that's really where it comes from. And I believe that the biggest thing you can do is
Welcome to the F3 Podcast, where faith, family, and finance come together. Real talk, real stories, and practical wisdom to help you grow in every area of life. My name is Derek Hines, and I am a partner here at Gaddis Premier Wealth Advisors. And today I have the pleasure of having Byrd, the CEO of our Durant Chamber of Commerce, with me.
Hi, Derek. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm happy you could come.
Me too.
So how are things at the chamber? You've been there 90 days?
90 days. As of yesterday, it was 90 days.
Okay.
So it's been fast and furious, but absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. Do they do some employers have 90-day reviews, anything like that at the chamber? No, but I do send a weekly inform. So my executive team gets an end of the week report. And then we have a monthly meeting and I do a director's report. So they're all very aware of everything that's going on and all of the things that we're doing, but no evaluations. Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad to hear your job's not in jeopardy.
I don't think so.
Yeah. No, I think they're gonna keep you around for a while.
I'm very grateful. I'm very honored to be where I'm at today.
Yeah. So what are you most excited about in this new position?
So with the chamber, we work on focusing on serving our members. That's really how chamber is funded. It's what we strive to do is just take care of the members that we have and then retain those and attract new members. And so I'm really excited about bringing some value to our membership base that we have. We've already started some work on that. And then we just hired Chloe Hughes. She's the new director of membership and marketing. So we've got some really exciting marketing initiatives that are coming down the pike with her. She's a phenomenal talent, young, just kind of starting out in her career. She's going to be a great asset. And then we have Jennifer Brewer, who's been there for 18 years. You want to talk about a rock of the chamber. Mm-hmm. She's a powerhouse. We're so grateful to have her. And of course, we're gearing up for Magnolia Festival. So that's going to be in May.
Yeah. Awesome. What are some of so you talked about attracting and retaining members. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the areas? So what are some of the things you want to lean in on like retention?
Yeah. So one of the things that we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be highlighting our members. So now every Monday, there will be a member minute. And that's literally a 60-second social media post that's going out where we're coming into the business. We're highlighting what you guys are doing, what you're offering, who you are. So that's one of the things that hasn't been done in the past. We're very excited about doing that just to make sure that people are seeing what is available. We're going to be starting an ambassador program. So the ambassador program will be about a 15-member committee, if you will. They are coming in, making sure that new members are welcomed, but also stopping in and doing touch points with the members that we already have, seeing are there resources that you need for your business to be successful? How can we offer those resources to you and be a connector for you? So very excited about that. We just started a new CRM. So that's a customer relations management platform. So we have a brand new website. We've done that in the first 90 days where members now have an access member portal on the back end so they can log in, post their jobs that they may have available, and also upload any of their events. So it goes automatically onto a calendar versus it being sent to us and us trying to find the time to upload it. So It's going to make a lot more efficiencies within the chamber, which will hopefully give us more time to just serve our members well.
Yeah, that's awesome. What CRM do you guys choose?
We're doing something called Chambermate.
Okay, nice.
So it's specifically designed
specific
for
chamber
chambers.
CRM. Cool.
Yeah, we're excited about it. It's been a really neat tool for us to be able to gather analytics on, and we get to do all of our stuff through it. So all of our newsletters now flow through it, all of our communications. It's going to be a phenomenal platform for us to utilize.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, you've got to have some sort of CRM with any type of business that you have. Mm-hmm. I mean, just for maintaining contacts and information, all the good stuff.
Yeah, and Jennifer did a fantastic job of keeping up with all of that back-end data. But now instead of her having to put it into a spreadsheet and then add our member to the website and then to the newsletter and then to the invoicing system, it's now all one. So a member joins, they automatically pay through an invoice system through our online platform. They get added to our newsletter. They get added to the website. get a portal. Like it's going to be a game changer for us inside of the chamber.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and really, we use a CRM here at the office, but really all the CRM does is allow us to do our jobs better, right? So it just it takes all that off your plate. So now you can focus on the people.
Yep. So that's one of the biggest initiatives that we've done in the first 90 days. We're really excited about that. And then I think the ambassador program is going to be another just wonderful tool for us to offer our members.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're actively recruiting ambassadors?
We are. We just actually put that on our website on Friday.
Okay.
And we are going to have a social media post that will go out this week.
Awesome. So what are you looking for in an ambassador?
Well, they obviously have to be friendly and outgoing. They can't be someone who's thinking about, well, I'm too shy to go talk to that person, because you're going in to meet with someone that's probably brand new. We want someone who can be a connector. So if they come and they say, I'm really needing help with promotions in my business, they can go, oh, okay, well, let me connect you with another one of our chamber members or our resources or our partners that can help you with that. Really, it's just someone who loves the community, loves people, loves our businesses, wants to help them succeed and grow and get feedback. Continual feedback loops are really important for me.
Yeah. How many ambassadors are you looking for?
15 to start with.
Cool. And we have 400 members of the chamber?
We have 448 members of the chamber currently as of today.
Okay. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah, I was telling, at the meeting we talked about before the recording started, we were talking about just opportunities. And I would see your current membership base as a huge opportunity for the chamber.
Yes.
To really lean in, reach out to them.
We're very excited. So, we started some focus groups where we've asked just a few of our members to come in and really guide us through some collective quantitative measures of, hey, this is exactly what we need to be focusing on. But the back end of that is we're going to be sending out an actual survey to all of our members, just because it's hard to get that many members in a room and go quickly with getting some data. So we kind of pulled some key people that, maybe have been members of the chamber for a really long time, maybe a couple of newer ones, to find out, why were you interested in joining the chamber?
Yeah.
But getting all of that data from our members is just going to help us, especially with Chloe and I being so new and us being a staff of 3 people. Having all of those information and those pieces with the members that we do serve, it helps us to know how to serve them better. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, of course. So when you think about attracting, what are some of the areas you're leaning into to attract new chamber members?
Yeah, just doing that, showing them exactly what the benefits are of being a chamber member. One of the things we do is we refer people. So if we get a call at the chamber, if you're not a chamber member and we don't refer your business, we get that several times. People will call and they're looking for something specific or a certain person. We're like, we're so sorry, they're not a member of the chamber. We can't give that information out. And that's actually another thing that we're going to be doing, is every time that someone calls and asks for someone who does roofing or someone who does granite countertops, we will give that person's information to them. And so we're going to start emailing those members and say, hey, we just want to let you know your member benefits are being referred out to ABC. This person called on February 11th, 2:00. We gave them your information just so that people know, because that's a lot of time. If you don't tell your story, nobody knows.
Yeah. Speaking of note for after the meeting, I hadn't considered calling the chamber. I need an electrician.
I've got one.
Okay.
Call the chamber. We'll take care of you.
I'll call the chamber.
We've got a few electricians on our membership, so we'll make sure to get those to you.
Perfect. I figured you would.
Yeah. We get so many calls. It's really incredible. The chamber not only serves for our members, but we serve the entire community. The amount of people that we have calling us or coming in on a daily basis just to get information, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, that really is intriguing, because I was part of one of those focus groups, and one of the individuals in the group, he mentioned, and he's been on the chamber board for forever,
for a long time,
and he mentioned that whenever he goes into a city or a town or wherever he's vacationing, like his first stop is the chamber. Which honestly, that never crossed my mind. It never crossed my mind to go to the chamber for information. So I don't know if there's a generation gap. Obviously Google, right? Everything, I go to Google, look at, ratings on restaurants and different things to do in the community. But how, looking at that generation gap where a lot of people come to the chamber, that's top of mind to them, is to come to the chamber for information. I don't know, and you work at the chamber, so you've had a lot of interaction just locally. So maybe that does come to your mind, top of mind. But like me, it didn't. So how do you position the chamber in such a way that people know that you're the place to go to for information?
Yeah, I definitely think you're right. And we even see that with the people coming in, the people calling. There's one lady, I don't even know her name. She calls every day asking information about, something like, I need to know where to call for the water bill. Or, Jen is on a first name basis with this lady. Like, she knows her well. The day that she doesn't call is the day that we're going to be like, what is going on? Can we do a welfare check? Yeah, like we're going to do a check, right?
Yeah.
But we definitely do see an older population that comes in asking for resources constantly, which is why we have our resource center there, is to help them and identify. But to your point of how do we work in and reach that younger audience, a lot of it is pushing that stuff that we're doing on social media. I talked to you about, we're going to start a podcast hopefully in the near future as well. It used to be you have to tell somebody something 7 times before it sticks. I feel like that is not correct information anymore, because we are overwhelmed with the amount of resources that we have coming to us constantly. And so I'm hoping that as we're doing things like the ambassador program, we're also going to do an influencer program as well. That one's getting ready to launch in a couple of weeks.
There was something similar to that a couple of years ago, right?
There was. Durant Main Street had one. It was probably close to about 8 years ago.
Okay.
They used to have one, and I don't really know what happened. Sometimes when directors transition, it doesn't always stay, and you have different things you have to focus on. But that's one of the things we're looking at, because we need content. We need good content to showcase our community and highlight all the wonderful things that we have, because not only do we serve our members, I've worked right now in the first 90 days of creating our purpose statement and then creating some pillars. And our first pillar, of course, is member value. Our second is economic development. Our third is community development. And our fourth is advocacy. Well, for community development, we need to be showcasing our community and all that there is here. And so that's one of the reasons for the influencer program, is making sure, like, we had the boat show this weekend. We had the garden show. We had all of these things going on. Well, did we make sure that we had someone out creating and capturing content of that, and then putting it together and highlighting it in our community, and then using SEO to make sure it gets to the people that are already coming to the community?
Yeah.
We have 6.8 million people that come and visit us every single year here in Durant.
Yeah.
We need to capture some of those people and get them into our community fully.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I remember I forget where Carol and I were going, but Timothy wasn't with us, and we drove by the boat show, and we were so thankful he wasn't with us. That boy, he loves boats.
It was a ton of fun.
Loves boats.
This was their first year to do that, and they did a phenomenal job. Mm-hmm. So just be prepared next year. You guys are bringing Timothy. You're coming to the boat show.
Yeah.
Oh, at Crete, you'll get a kick out of this because you know him. Andy and I took the family on Saturday, and he went into one of the RVs, and he goes, I've got to get all the money out of my bank account, Mom. I'm spending all of my money on this. And I was like,
there you go.
You may have to go to the bank and ask for a loan, dear, because you're not getting an RV with like $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe buy the front tire.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what brought you to Durant? Did you grow up around here?
So I'm actually from Atoka and Cole area, but I came to Southeastern. So I'm a Southeastern alum.
Okay.
I graduated in 2008. Actually went back to Atoka and Cole. I was their TSET and program assistant coordinator, which TSET is the Tobacco Settlement Endowment Trust. So I ran under a grant for about 4.5 years, and then was actually recruited back to Durant to run Imagine Durant. So I've been back here in the community it'll be 10 years this year.
Well, it's good to have you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. And this is home.
Yeah.
So this is where Andy and I are planted and where we're going to raise our family. And I'm glad to be here. It's a great community.
Yeah. Well, what was the draw? So what'd you go to school for at Southeastern?
Oh, goodness. Well, maybe the better question is, what did I graduate?
That's a good question.
I will tell you the draw for Southeastern, though, was I actually wanted to be really close to Mom and Dad. I didn't want to go far away. I was a big daddy's girl, and I was 45 minutes from Dad. I could get to him. He worked in the Southeast region, so there were plenty of times he was here in Durant, and I could see him and be with him. So that was the draw, is that we were really close to home. I actually commuted the first 2 years because I was so close to my dad. I didn't want to leave and move away from him. And then, I went back to a token cold just because my degree is in sociology.
Okay.
And that job opportunity became available. And I'm very big. I had someone ask me this the other day. It was actually a college student at Southeastern. He'd come and we were just doing a little bit of work of just conversations. He's, got a couple of years left. And he was asking, how did you get into this job? What did you do? And it's like, really, it's all relationships. My job working at the Tobacco Settlement Endowment Trust, I did not have a background in health.
Yeah.
My degree was in sociology. But the program coordinator was someone who taught me when I was in high school. And she knew I just graduated. And she was like, I know you're great with people. That's what I need. You have a degree. You're great with people. You're easy to teach.
Yeah.
Come. And then with Imagine Durant, and Paige Scott is a really dear friend of both of ours.
Oh, yeah.
She was the interim director for Imagine Durant. And of course, we were great friends back then. And she said, Kara, I'm listening to every time that they're talking about as an executive director. And all I say is you. I just know that this is where God's calling you. You need to apply. And God bless Greg's heart, because they offered me the job. And I think I was like, can we have a little bit more time to pray about that? Because I was so fulfilled. I was happy with TSET. I was, where I felt like I needed to be. And then that came along, and I'm forever grateful that I took that opportunity that did present itself. But really, Paige Scott is the reason that I came back and then just fell in love with Durant. So,
yeah. Well, what do you think? So for you, TSET, Imagine Durant, even your current job at the chamber, it's very much community and people focused. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you think your draw is to that?
So that's a great question, Derek. I really feel like it comes from my dad. I know I mentioned him earlier, but he was in the fire service for 30 years. So he was the fire chief. He was the youngest fire chief in Oklahoma's history. So he lived a life of service. He actually retired from the fire department, and then he ended up going to work for the Oklahoma State Department of Commerce. And he was the Southeast rep for 20 years. So he served for community and economic development for 20 years. So I grew up in it. Our life was a life of service. And my other dad, I'm really grateful. I have two fantastic dads. Like, God loves me enough that he gave me two really great ones. He's been in law enforcement for over 40 years. So I've literally just grown up in service. You just give back to your community. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And so that's really where it comes from. And I believe that the biggest thing you can do is be someone who gives and creates generational wealth, not in the sense of a financial wealth even, but sometimes that generational wealth looks like, what does this community look like for not just my children, but my grandchildren? So what is it that I'm doing right now that's an investment that's going to have a return for generations to come? And that's what really drives me in what I do and what my heart is.
Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah, so when you think of generational wealth, you mentioned community, looking at, what does this community look like for our children and our grandchildren? Mm-hmm. So what's your vision?
It's not even just my vision, but what I feel like the vision can be for the collective whole. It's a place that is vibrant and thriving. It's safe. We have all of the amenities that we need. We have the housing. That's one of the things that we saw when I was with Imagine Durant. Is we have all this growth coming from Texas. So now we are considered to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth MSA. From 1980 to 2020, we had 5,000 people move to Durant. From 2023 to 2024, we had 5,000 people move to Durant.
Wow.
So that's why what we're doing right now, whenever we're looking at economic development, community development, advocacy, I mentioned earlier that we have 4 pillars that we stand on. One of the things that I do is I go to our Capitol and I meet with our legislators and I say, hey, you need to be looking at rural Oklahoma, specifically Durant, because there's a lot of times they only think about Oklahoma City and Dallas. They don't see the need in the rural areas much. When I can go up there and I can give them these stats, I'm like, you need to look at what our traffic count at our McDonald's. We have 40,000 cars a day that go by our McDonald's. Now, imagine what's going to happen whenever the investment at the lake happens. That's just going to continue to go. And so that's why it's so vital that we are working on the things we're working on today. We can't just be reactive to stuff. We have to start being proactive for all of the growth that's happening. So that's so vital.
Yeah.
We have to be prepared for it. Like, we need the infrastructure, we need the housing, we need the quality of life. I don't want it to be, this is another thing, just being a Southeastern alum and the Southeastern students we have here. What is it that we do to keep them here? not just while they're in school, but after. They're our workforce. Are we training a workforce that's leaving for another community because we don't have the housing that they need, or we don't have the infrastructure, or we don't have the things that they want to do, the entertainment? And so I look at it through that lens. Do we have all of the amenities that make it a great place to call home? And, we really have so many fantastic things now. And by far, I will say it until the day that I die, our biggest asset in Durant are our people. We have the most amazing people. You can see it with just what we got through with the trail, with Crooked Smile Trail.
Yeah.
It took 10 years to get that project off the ground and completed. And how many different stakeholders did we have come to the table to make that happen?
A lot.
It's our community, biggest asset we have. And so for me, that quality of life is also just the people. We're going to farmers market every Saturday. Well, not only am I speaking to every single one of those farmers because I know them, I'm running into my friends, my neighbors. It's a wonderful place to call home. But I think we have a few of those amenities that we need to focus on to make it a place that people want to stay and raise their families here and attract the workforce as well that we need, that maybe we're not educating here.
Yeah. So what are some of the amenities you think that, so we talked about this in the focus group.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about, why people want to go to places like Denison or McKinney, why they want to, it's just a wonderful environment to be in, right? It's safe. You've got nice restaurants, places to get dessert. It's just a wonderful environment. So thinking about Durant, we also had conversations around there being like an anchor or some sort of anchor restaurant or business or something that serves as that anchor for that space, for that environment. And when we think about what types of amenities or what that anchor might be, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a great question again. If you look at those places that you just talked about, so let's start with McKinney. Mm-hmm. They actually have something called a Community Development Corporation that they passed, I don't even know how long ago, but they have a percentage of their tax that they put back towards community development. So much like we have the Durant Industrial Authority here that passed a tax that works on attracting economic development, they passed a tax that went to nothing but community development. So you think about their downtown, which is what most people think of when they think of McKinney. It's got those lush greenery with the potted plants that are always full, and you've got shaded structure. You have beautiful outdoor seating and dining. You have programs and events that are constantly going. Every weekend they have something that is keeping somebody there. It's not just come shop. They're going, we have Arts in Bloom that's coming up. Come and do that. We have a bike ride. We have the Celtic. Every weekend there is something there, but they also have space to do it.
Yeah.
And so, you kind of start with that. And then you look at what just happened in Denison. Denison just won a national award for their Main Street. Did you see that?
I did not see that. No.
A national award for all of the things that they've done to create placemaking. So if you look at what Denison has done, they've completely redone their streetscape. And it now almost feels like a little mini McKinney. Like when you go down, it has those lush greeneries. It has the brick streets. Their restaurants are thriving. They're getting new restaurants in. Their older restaurants that have been there are thriving as well. Your boutiques, your different retail outlets. For us, I feel like we have really great businesses here, but we also have the ability to attract some different ones that maybe we have some gaps in services on.
Yeah.
One of the things that we're missing is that cornerstone, like you talked about.
Yeah.
I would love to see, and this was actually something that was in that Roger Brooks, which was the destination marketing. We had paid him. He's a national tourism consultant.
Was it 2 years ago?
So let me think. I have to base everything off of children. I was pregnant with Etta, so it was 4 years ago. I had her a week after he came.
Yeah.
Literally. Wow. Isn't that horrible? I have to be wait, when I was pregnant with Kate, we did this.
Oh, the same thing. We moved to Durant right before Jesse was born.
See, it's how you time.
Yeah.
Just go so quick. So it was almost 4 years ago. And one of the suggestions he had was, he said we should bring our benches that are towards the street actually back and put them up against the building. That also creates more shade. We needed more of our trees. We have some trees downtown. The Durant Sustainability Coalition is already working well with Main Street to make sure that we bring trees back. Yeah. That just creates more shade, beautification. the street, he was like, you guys need to be doing street cleaning at least once a week, getting all the trash taken care of. You need to repaint some of your.
I think we're doing that now. I see the street cleaner.
We are. We're like slowly inching towards some of the things that he said. But one of the things that he said, and I know this can be controversial, is taking Market Square and truly making it a plaza. So it's a place that you can have those activation. You think about right now, we use it for farmers market, April through October.
Yeah.
How many people does that attract for our downtown community? And I would love to see the data that shows how many of those people go to any of our businesses that are already downtown because they're already there.
Yeah, or get lunch while they're in town.
Exactly.
Or breakfast.
Exactly. And so I think if we can focus on making something like Market Square our community living room, where we can have activation projects every single weekend, that could be a massive anchor. And that's something that a national award-winning consultant told us we need to do. And that's something you see in other communities that are being successful. They have that.
Yeah. And we say so cornerstone business. What are your thoughts? Like what is a cornerstone business?
That we have currently?
No, that
we would need.
Yeah, first, what is it?
It's a great question. I think it really depends on our community needs. And until we can identify that, I would hate to throw something out.
Yeah.
I know that's something that Main Street is working really hard to identify along with the DIA. They have an economic vitality committee that actually is serving to identify all of the gaps that we have and want to look at recruiting for the empty spaces that we do have.
Okay.
So there's some data that can be ran on that instead of me just making this is what I think.
Yeah.
I'd much rather just look at that data that we have available to say this is exactly what we need to be our cornerstone.
Yeah.
I do think we have some incredible cornerstones already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you have any idea of what our current gaps are?
I don't. They're just now starting that process.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great to see.
Well, it just helps you make informed decisions.
Yep.
Which is important.
Yeah. So tell me about your family.
I am married to Andy Byrd.
Okay.
Most people know him. He worked at Solitas from the time he was 15 until about 8 years ago. So most people know Andy.
Yep.
He is a serial entrepreneur. I keep thinking one day he'll quit adding businesses to our spinning plates. But he owns a lawn and landscaping business. He has 21 doors in real estate. We just opened an Airbnb. We have snowbird shaved ice.
Where's the Airbnb?
The Airbnb is really close to the hospital, actually. It's here in Durant.
Okay.
Fantastic. We've already had 2 guests.
I think he told me about that.
We just opened it and we've had 2 guests so far. So I think it's going to do really well for us.
Good. Yeah, there's not a lot of that in Durant.
No, there's not. And I definitely see that there will be a need in the future, especially with the investments that's happening around our lake. Oh my goodness, we're going to see such an influx of need for people to be able to stay places.
Yeah.
So, again, Andy's serial entrepreneur. He's a great guy. We've been married for, it'll be 10 years this year. No. Yes. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah.
He gets a free pass if he forgets, like it's our 10-year anniversary. He'll be like, yeah, have we been married 10 years? I don't even know. But yes, we have been married for a little while. We have a son, Crete. He is 6, about to be 7. He is the sweetest, most caring little boy. He's just got this precious heart of gold, smart as a whip, like knew his solar system before starting 1st grade, was doing multiplication this year. And I'm like, who are you? His dream is he wants to be an astronaut and also play in a band. So
cool.
We'll see what happens there. And then Etta is our 4-year-old. She just turned 4 in February. And she is our firecracker. She is our pistol. She was not even able to walk yet. And she would stand on go-kart and go, holding the steering wheel. So that just set the tone for exactly how life has been with Etta. She is completely fearless. She will jump off of anything, have bruises all over her, and just like keep going. She's going to rule the world someday. I just have to get her there first. When it was just...
Yeah, they say sometimes, I love the quote, and then some of my children may or may not fall in this category. So the attributes that make really bad children make really good adults.
Yes, that's going to be my girl.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I'm just waiting to see what all she will accomplish. I am for certain that my ceiling will be that girl's floor.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
That's awesome. So I know you mentioned Andy's a serial entrepreneur. Obviously, you're pretty busy too. Do you have any hobbies?
Hobbies? What are those?
Things you do in your free time.
I don't have free time right now, Derek. I really don't. Most of my time, I'm at the chamber working constantly. And then as soon as we get off, I'm on mom duty. My hobby right now is getting Etta to dance and having Crete's piano lessons taken care of and the laundry done. I would say back in the day, I used to do photography, really love that side. I used to do art. I used to actually paint. Haven't done either of those things in a really, really long time.
Yeah.
But maybe someday. It's just not the season we're in right now. It's the season of littles, and someday that will change and my babies won't want me all of the time. But right now I'm trying to soak up and be patient with the, Mom, look at this. Mom, look at this. So my hobby right now is, Mom, look at this.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to keep reminding myself someday I will be depressed by a quiet house and by not stepping over children's toys or stepping on children's toys.
Yes. It's the perspective, right? Because when we're in it, it's sometimes like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Then I stop and I think, Crete's about to be 7. Like we're almost in double digits.
Yeah.
I'm going to blink and he's going to be driving a car.
Yeah. Our daughter.
And not wanting to hang out with me.
Yeah. Our daughter turned 10 this year.
Yeah. That's going to be a moment for me.
Yeah.
I did not have this. Is something Andy, whenever Crete was born, he was like, he's here. And I was like, oh, really? For real? He's here? He was like, she needs her medicine turned down just a little bit, like kind of thing. And he's all very emotional about it. I'm like, sweet, a kid. Awesome. Let's go. Like I didn't have that emotional mom moment, the first day of school, Miss Tamara, oh, mommy, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, he's great. Like,
he's great. Get him.
Have fun.
He's all yours.
Yeah. Where's the coffee?
Yeah.
Let me see that. The only time I have had that mommy moment is actually when we moved him from a toddler bed to a full-size bed. I don't know why that was my moment, but even with Etta, like Etta starts school this next year, and I have a feeling like those moments are what are hitting me right now. And so I am most aware of how quick and how fleeting the season is that we're in.
Yeah.
Even when there are days where I'm like, oh, I just need 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, you don't until you have kids, you have nothing to benchmark your life against. Really, you don't really have another human being that's small and growing. And it's, so I feel like that's why you have just this shift in perspective of time is now you're watching a little person grow up and you realize how fast it happens.
That is, and I think that's also one of the reasons I'm so passionate about creating a community because I want the legacy that I leave to be the legacy for my kids to have a great place to call home.
Yeah.
And other kids. It's not just about my kids. It's about our entire community as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exciting. Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about that's going on in the chamber, going on in your personal life?
Let me think, Derek.
Anything exciting on Byrd's horizon?
Man, just everything that's happening at the chambers is so exciting. The Magnolia Festival, I know I kind of mentioned that, but it's going to be our 27th year. Yeah. So great foundation that was laid for me to be able to come in, step into that. That's something our community just looks forward to. I actually said this to one of our top sponsors. I said, I remember being, in college and coming to it and getting to have memories with my friends at Magnolia Festival. And then it's now become a tradition for our family. We always go to the Magnolia Festival, and now to be on the other side of it and to see the work that goes into it, it's just something that I'm so grateful that we have sponsors that help us make that happen every single year, because it does make such a difference for our community to have something like that. Yeah. So we're really excited about that. This year we're focusing, our shift is a little bit different. We're actually working on bringing in some of the Talk culture. So we've done a little bit of that already. They've already been doing some of the demonstrations at the Cultural Center, but we're actually going to have a demo booth at Magnolia Festival where people are going to be able to see them do basket weaving. We've got a girl that's doing mosaic art. And we're looking at another gentleman who will potentially be doing his silversmithing to show how he makes the actual jewelry. Okay. We've got Lion Frost brand coming in with all of their stuff. We're going to show the movie 8 Seconds because that same weekend is the rodeo. So we're not only looking at our Choctaw culture, but also our Western heritage. Yeah. And we're really excited about bringing those two together for the Magnolia Festival this year and just showcasing and highlighting some of those.
Huh, that's exciting.
Here in Durant.
Yeah. So tell me, maybe you know, maybe you don't know. What's the deal with the magnolia tree?
So the magnolia trees were actually started. There was a professor at Southeastern who brought them over and figured out how to make them grow. And that's why it's called the campus of 1,000 magnolias. There used to be thousands of magnolias at Southeastern's campus.
Okay.
And then if you actually, next time you come to the chamber, Derek, you'll have to look. We have the resolutions from where the state actually named Durant the Magnolia capital of Oklahoma.
Okay.
That's what we are. And so we actually have those resolutions from our legislators who passed that. I can't even tell you when it was. I feel like it was in the 90s, but we have that on our wall. And so that's how it started. It was from a professor at Southeastern who did agriculture and knew how to make the magnolias grow here.
As a business owner in the Durant community, having interacted with you through Imagine Durant, and even when you were at First United, I'm really excited for the community to have you as the CEO of the chamber. So I wish you the best. And if there's anything that I can do, let me know.
Well, thank you, Derek. I really appreciate you having me on today. And I'm very excited about the future of our community. And again, just so grateful to have been selected to lead the Chamber of Commerce. Miss Janet was there for 19 years and left a solid foundation for me to come upon. And so grateful for that as we continue to move forward and work to make this community the best community it can be. It's truly a great day to be in Durant.
Yep, I agree. Well, thank you, Kara.
Thank you.
Again, my name is Derek Hines. We appreciate you tuning in. If you like this podcast, please don't forget to like and subscribe.